future. We can help your dreams come true. A degree that gets you the right job. It's affordable and easy for you. Asnuntuck Community College. Friendly people that know who you are. Asnuntuck Community College. A college so close that can take you so far.
Hello and welcome to Asnuntuck Changing Lives. I'm your host, Tim St. James, Interim Dean of Students and Campus Facilities at Asnuntuck Community College. As a community college, it is essential that we forge partnerships with agencies and organizations within our region to help deliver services and educational opportunities to our students. These partnerships are increasingly important during times of diminishing budgets and resources. So today, what I'd like to do on the show is to highlight the work being done by one group in particular, the Enfield Together Coalition. The Enfield Together Coalition has been an instrumental partner in helping us educate our students and the overall community on issues related to substance use. Asnuntuck Community College was fortunate to be one of 17 Connecticut colleges and universities to receive funding through the Connecticut Healthy Campus Initiative's Opioid Education and Awareness Grant. This is a state-targeted response to the opioid crisis, STR grant, that is administered through the Connecticut Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services with the support of the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Through this grant, college has received $10,000 for each of the past 2 academic years to enhance on-campus opioid education awareness activities. The help, support, and guidance that we've received from the folks at the Enfield Together Coalition has been essential to the success of our endeavors. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is introduce my guests who can fill us in on some of the great work being done by the Enfield Together Coalition. So immediately to my left, we have Joan Lawson, who is the chair of the Enfield Together Coalition.
Good
Welcome,
evening,
Joan.
Tim.
Hello. Good
to be here.
Glad to have you. Andrea Mashiak, who is a youth counselor with the Enfield Youth and Family Services. And last, Kelly Fischer, the founder and CEO of the Alex Fischer Foundation and Alex's Army.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. Thanks, guys, for being here. Really appreciate it. So what we'll do is, as the chair of the Enfield Together Coalition, I thought we'd start with you, Joan, to maybe go over some questions, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Enfield Together Coalition.
So you'll see the words ETC, which stands for the Enfield Together Coalition, and we have a tagline that says, moving forward, drug-free, finishing strong. And really what we do, we're dedicated to reducing and preventing underage drinking and substance use in Enfield through raising awareness, education of parents and youth, and enforcing underage drinking laws. So our targeted audience are parents and ages 8 to 18. So that's who we target.
Yeah, and we certainly have a little overlap, obviously, even though our average age of our students at Asnuntuck are about 27 years old, or 26 and 0.4 or 5 or something like that. But we do have a good increasing number of students coming in from that, in that 18-year-old population. Yes. So how long is ETC? We'll just kind of shorten it up and I'll say ETC. How long has ETC been around?
It's been around since 2004.
Excellent.
Yeah, so it's been around for a while.
Great. Now, who makes up the members of the coalition?
Okay, so we have 12 sectors. So that would be youth, enforcement, civic, faith, and school, media, and just a number of other groups that make it up. So there's 12 sectors that they don't all come to the meetings, but all those sectors are represented in our coalition.
Excellent, excellent. How often does the coalition meet?
So we meet monthly. We meet the 4th Tuesday of the month at the Enfield Town Hall in the Enfield Room. So we actually have a meeting tomorrow.
We do?
Yes.
And is that open to the public, or is it just
Absolutely. We are really looking for people who have a desire to help with the issues that we target, which is alcohol, prescription drugs, and marijuana. And we know these are really hot topics, and that we really want to make a difference in our community by addressing them. And so anyone who is interested, we'd love to have them come.
Absolutely, that's great. And I love it because that coalition, as the name might suggest, really brings in all sectors of the community.
And that word together is what it's all about. We're together.
That's great. And yeah, I think one of the taglines I think I saw too on one of the pages on the ETC website is that local problems require local solutions.
That's
so
right.
you absolutely are putting that into effect here with what you do.
We're trying, yes.
That's great. So what is your role in it as the chairperson of?
So as the chair, I work with our prevention coordinator, and then we also work as a team with an advisory board that gets together before our meetings, about a week before our meetings, and help decide what is it we're targeting. So like this month we are targeting, and next month marijuana. So we work on all the issues for that month on those topics, and we get out into the community and try and get our messaging out, and it's great because we have a great team that we're working with.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you talk about some of these initiatives that are targeted to specific campaigns. And what are some of the major events that ETC gets involved in throughout the year?
Sure. I'd love to tell you. We have something called Take It to the Box.
Yes.
And that messaging, Take It to the Box, is with our enforcement. And anyone can take their unused medications to the Enfield Police Department 24/7. Yes. And this is helping to get these out of the hands of our teens and anyone who might, take them. So this is a really great opportunity that we do with the police department. And one of the other things that we're working on for this month is marijuana. We have table tents that say, teach them the lows of getting high, get your facts straight. So this is messaging that we've been trying to get into our restaurants and really any place. We were able to take these table tents to ShopRite. They've put them out, and really just wherever people will allow us to put the messaging, so we can help, again, educate parents to begin to talk to their teens about the dangers of substances that they might get involved in.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great work. So how can people, if they wanted to find out a little bit more about, ETC, how can they get involved?
You can just go to Facebook at Enfield Together Coalition.
Yeah.
So just go to the Facebook page.
Right.
Or Twitter at ETC Prevention. So that's another. And also Instagram ETC _ and Enfield. So there's several ways. You can also contact Enfield Youth Services. Right now our prevention coordinator is on maternity leave, but I'm sure Andrea or any of the folks there at the Enfield Youth Services could direct you to more information.
Absolutely.
But we'd love to have you come to a meeting.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I'll second that or add to it that, at Asnuntuck too, I myself or anyone else would be happy to give information to individuals who are interested in joining and get them in contact with, with the coalition as well. Great. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. But what I'll do now is maybe turn to Andrea, and you can tell us a little bit about your role as the coordinator of the youth group with Enfield Youth Services. So thanks again for being here, and just tell us a little bit about how you've been involved with the organization.
All right. So I'm involved. I'm a youth counselor, and one of my functions of my job is to head the Enfield Youth Council. That is composed of 15 high school students that really do the work of Enfield Together Coalition. They represent the youth sector that Joan was just explaining. And through that group, I have partnered with Asnuntuck Community College about 3 years ago to form the Enfield Youth Services radio program. That radio program gives the kids a vehicle to interview people in town and to produce and to create their own public service announcements under the direction of Adam Rivers, somebody great on your staff.
Our faculty members.
Yeah. Operations manager of WACC 1077. Give him a little plug.
There we go. Got to do it. He's got the best voice. Let's just be honest,
he's
right?
Got a great voice, great personality.
He's and an excellent personality, perfect person for that role.
Yeah.
So that is important. That the show that you're talking about, the youth group that they produce, is twice a month, right? And it is on WACC 107.7 on your FM dial. So it is important for people to know about that. How do you choose the guests? So what goes into the production of that show, and who do they do the students write the script? Are you doing that, or how's that come together?
So there's a lot of different pieces. We love to show the great work that's being done in the community in Enfield. There's a lot of work that is going on behind the scenes that people don't even recognize or realize. So we really do focus on the work of the municipality. So we have a lot of town employees that have come on to our radio show.
Yeah.
The kids research our guests. They create the questions. We send them off so that our interview, they feel comfortable being on the show. We have not had, in the 3 years that we've had the show, we've not had one repeat guest on. So we get them a couple different ways. The kids either have somebody that they might want their vice principal, they might want their principal, oh, we have a new chief of police, can we have him on? Or we might have somebody that comes on and they recommend someone that we may not have even heard of. Or through ETC, somebody comes into our meeting. So it just gets developed a number of different ways. But again, we haven't had one repeat in 3 years of doing
incredible.
Every 2 weeks a show.
Right. How can people hear it if they don't hear it live? Do you know how they can hear the shows?
Yep, so they can hear it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 o'clock. Okay. But if you miss it, Adam is really great about putting on our shows on your website, on Asnuntuck Community College. So if you go under that, I think it's under Student Affairs, I don't know.
I think Student Services, right?
Student Services, there's a tab.
Drop down for WACC.
Yeah. And it has all of our shows that are listed on there, all the past interviews.
Good, excellent, excellent. You mentioned one of the pieces is not just interviewing guests for the show, but in addition to that, the students develop public service announcements, or PSAs. How do they go about selecting what topic they want to do for the PSAs? Is that?
Well, there's two different kinds of PSAs. So one of them, from all the guests that have been on the show, I've developed a email list, and I send it out and I say, hey, is there anything that you want the community to know that's going on? So for instance, a good example of that would be the 4th of July celebration. The kids will write PSAs. So I'll get an email in, I'll send it out, or we'll do it during a meeting, and I'll give it to the kids, and they'll write the PSA for it. Right. That'll contain, the dates, and sometimes they'll make it fun, sometimes they'll just read the PSA off. And then there's another type where they have to do the research. So we have all kinds. I think you have an example, right? You want to maybe play that, and I'll talk a little bit about it?
Absolutely. Why don't we cut to that then? If we can play our sample PSA at this point, that'd be great.
One person can have a lot of influence. It could be the one person with the hurtful words, the one person with a strong punch, the kid who threw the crazy party, the one adventurous best friend. It only takes one person to get your kid to try marijuana. Make sure you, as a parent, are the one person to keep your child safe. Have the pot talk. It's never too early.
Brought to you by the Enfield Youth Services radio show on 107.7 WACC.
That's great. It's quick, about 15 seconds, if that. But a lot of work goes into producing that. So go ahead and you tell me a little more about it.
That was Eliza. So that was the topic that we had that month. This month it's marijuana. So the kids all had to do research. We used Enfield Together Coalition's materials. They are all given the same materials, and they all came up with 15 different very unique PSAs. So those will be recorded the next time we go into the show. Adam will pretty them up, and they'll go out. Asnuntuck has been really, really good to us. As far as, I was listening today, I always have it on in the background while I'm working, and I must have heard a dozen of our PSAs. So it's nice to hear those. It's nice to see how original, but even better is that we've been doing it for 3 years, so I get to hear voices of kids that are no longer in the youth council, but they're still on the PSAs, and they get to listen to them, and hear them, so they get excited about it still.
That's great. No, it's an excellent opportunity. And I will admit, as a former guest, when did we do that? Last fall or last spring, I'm not sure. I was just so impressed with how, like you said before, accommodating and professional that the students were. And these are all high school students who really put the time and energy into it and research, had great questions. But what was that section that it all started out with? The
popcorn.
Popcorn.
So it's supposed to get people feeling comfortable being on the show. So it's just fun. So they come up with the questions, but there's always one at the end, and they always say it's for entertainment for me, right? But there's always a kicker at the end. Do you remember what your question was? Because most people do.
Oh my God.
It might be like, how many miles is it to Mars if it was raining out? Or do you remember what yours was?
I don't recall it. I just remember being, entertained by it and thinking, I don't recall what it was. It probably had something to do with food or something like that. I don't know. But
it's impossible to answer. It's impossible, and it stumps people. So, I mean, that is one of the things that is nice about the kids going on the show. Not only the skills that they develop, but also it's really a role reversal, right?
Yeah.
They come on and they have like their vice principal who is so nervous being on the show, and they get to make them feel comfortable. You know, so it's just a whole different way of looking at things for them. So that it's just one of the many things that they get for being on the radio show.
That's great. You know, and I love that we are able to partner, again, another example of a partnership, to partner with you guys to do that. It's a great opportunity for the students, great opportunity for the college to make those connections with people. So thank you for all your hard work in producing that and working with the students on that. So now I'd like to just kind of continue down the line here, if I can, and talk with Kelly Fischer again, with the Alex Fischer Foundation and Alex's Army. You are also a member, and we should point out that we're all members of the Enfield Together Coalition. But as a member, tell us how you got involved, or why it's important to you to be part of ETC.
September 30th, 2016, my son was given an Oxycontin laced with fentanyl, and he passed away. I'm friends with Fred Hall, who was the captain of the police department since elementary school, and he told me the Enfield Together Coalition would be a great venue for me to get out there and try to heal and try to help at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's amazing work they do, and I am proud to be a member of the coalition.
That's great. Well, and thank you for everything that you've done, and you've also partnered with the college as well to help bring, at some of our events, bring some information forward to our student population.
Correct.
And I know it probably does help to, like you mentioned, sharing that information and sharing information about resources in particular to help prevent things from happening in the future is not easy, but we appreciate all that you've done.
Thank you.
So another thing, in addition to working with ETC, is you started the Alex Fischer Foundation and Alex's Army. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I wanted to do something to help families and parents and other teens and youth to try and stay away from drugs. So I created a mock bedroom in a trailer, and it shows parents where kids would hide drugs and alcohol. We don't allow children in there. We don't allow teens in there. And I'm still, a lot of college kids, I don't let in there.
Good.
I really want to put it towards parents and not kids.
Right.
So they come in, and I have probably 70 different places hidden in plain sight where you could hide drugs and alcohol.
And we actually have a photo up on the screen right now of the exterior of the trailer. But I think we also have one for the interior as well. If we can show that.
That's it.
I mean, you saw the size of the trailer outside, now looking at it inside. The fact that you can hide in 70 different places or so, like you said, in that space, really says a lot.
Correct.
Right.
We also have, because vaping is so big right now, we also have different vaping devices to show parents what they look like. You know, the Juul looks just like a little USB stick, so parents don't realize that's what's in their kid's room. So we try to do all different vaping devices to show them what it's like. We also do a little pedal cart where you put alcohol goggles on and try to go through cones and not hit the cones, and we have marijuana goggles, and it simulates some of the effects of...
Yeah, I think we actually have an image of that too somewhere in here as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's actually
the
image on the screen right now is, I think when you were present for one of our Jordan Porco Foundation Fresh Check Day events. And I think that's one of the things that we've done is you've brought in we've had the cart on campus, or
we did the walk the line on
the walk
campus.
The line simulating.
Just trying to get the kids involved in it. We feel when it's more interactive, they're more likely to listen, and
absolutely,
they have a good time with it, but they also realize the seriousness of it.
Great.
We did that. We did Jeff Hatch at the college. We were involved with that. I did a radio show at the college. We really enjoy partnering with the Asnuntuck, and the coalition, again, is wonderful. Police department is really good to us. Fire department's really good. We will be at the 4th of July festival with the trailer.
Excellent.
We're open Friday to Sunday afternoon. We have to move for the fireworks, but we will be there.
Good.
we just encourage parents to come in there and just look around. You'll be amazed of what's in there.
Absolutely. I'm sure that's a very eye-opening experience for individuals. So, again, thank you for that. If people are interested in finding out more about the Alex Fischer Foundation or Alex's Army, where can they go?
It's Alex's Army on Facebook,
okay.
The Alex Fischer Foundation on Facebook.
Okay.
They can email me at kelly@thealexfischerfoundation.org.
Okay.
We are having a dance, a 70s, 80s dance to raise money.
Excellent.
And we'd love everyone to come. It's at the Enfield Elks, March 23rd.
Okay.
We raise money so I can go to all these different places, all the towns, and we go for free because we don't ever want a town to say, we can't afford you. We want every town to be able to have us there.
That's
to
excellent.
educate. I don't ever want anyone to be in my shoes.
Right.
So we just really want to educate everybody out there. So we do that, and we give out scholarships at the high school.
Excellent.
Last year we gave out almost 4,500. This year we want to give 10,000 out.
That's excellent. That's a great goal.
We give kindness awards also for people who do kind things, and we give them money and to
good.
go do more kind things in the world.
That's wonderful. Good. Well, thank you again for all that you've done, and in the partnership with the Enfield Together Coalition overall. I have to talk about some of the things that have happened on campus, in particular, that you folks have all helped out with. I teach a first-year experience course, a section each semester of first-year experience. And a member of the coalition each semester has volunteered their time in the evening to come out for a 6:30 in the night class to give a presentation to our students and talk about issues related to substance use and misuse. They've come and put up bulletin boards on our campus. Members said we have 2 bulletin boards on our campus that are covered with information and resources. They've come and we've now partnered by putting the banners up on the fence leading into the college campus that rotate along with your messaging. So that's important. So again, thank you for all that you've done to help and support our students. What I'd like to do now is talk a little bit about the Opioid Education and Awareness Grant that we've been working with. And again, I have to say that a lot of the help, a lot of the ideas have come through partnerships and working with folks on the coalition. But as I mentioned, we are in year 2 of this grant where we're given $10,000 each year, which may seem like a lot, but it goes pretty quick, especially when you start talking about, like you said, Kelly, having a speaker like Jeff Hatch come to campus, who's a national speaker,
Right.
A former member of the New York Giants, who came and talked about his experience with addiction, in particular with painkillers after sustaining a pretty significant injury. And just, the way he connected. And we have a picture of Jeff and a couple of the members of the coalition. So just wanted to kind of show that off a little bit and talk about, how great that presentation was. I think, we've had a number of presentations on campus, and during the daytime for that, we had over 200 students in our new our conference center on campus, and people were going up to him afterwards. He was sharing his personal cell phone number with them, trying to be there as a resource to connect with these students who, in some cases, need that connection, need that help. So we've done that. We've been able to have other past presenters. We've purchased, as you can see on the screen now, we've used grant money to purchase medical disposal bags, safe disposal bags where you can actually render the prescription drugs ineffective by adding them to that pouch, putting in hot water, and in a matter of seconds, the drugs will be ineffective. Also purchasing locking devices and safe storage devices, those bags that you saw. We've also created and worked with our manufacturing department to create little lock boxes on campus where right next to, and signs to go with our Narcan units, both in our main building and in our second building, the Advanced Manufacturing Technology Center, right next to our AED machines. And we've trained about nearly 50% of our full-time faculty and staff in Narcan administration. And that's huge. And we really, all of us went to a conference recently in DC, and the Surgeon General was giving a presentation and asked at one point, how many people in the audience are trained in CPR? And every hand almost went up. After that, he followed it up quickly with how many of you have been trained in Narcan or carry Narcan on you? And, you know, almost all the hands went down, especially with regard to carrying Narcan on you. So the opioid epidemic is at that level where we really need to be focusing on how to prevent and how to help this process along. Last year, I think roughly, what do we see here, about 70,000 deaths to overdose, deaths by overdose in our country. And so something does need to be done, and you are all doing fantastic work to get that information out. This semester coming up, we're going to be looking to train our students, our student population in Narcan administration as well, which I think is going to be key.
Amazing.
That's key. So we have a gentleman that we've all partnered with, John Lally. He's coming to campus next week on March 6th. He's going to be on campus in the evening to do a training with our students and hopefully connect with some of them. And some other events that I'm really excited about, purchasing a different device other than the bags. We're going to be getting these, they're called Safer Lock RX devices that are little combination locks that you can put on the top of your medicine boxes or containers. So really, again, great work from all of you that you've done, and I can't thank you enough for the partnership that we've established with the college. It's helped us, but most importantly, it's helped our students and members of the community. So with that, I don't know if anybody has any last minute words or any concerns, anything you want to share?
Just feel like we need to let people know there's always hope. You know, that's one of the takeaways. There is always hope that no matter what individuals are struggling with, there's someone who will help. And I know, again, with ETC, we have the ability to send them to places where they can get help, but there is always hope.
There is.
Yeah.
There absolutely is. And thank you again for that. So with that, I think that'll bring our show to a conclusion. I thank you all for tuning in and hope that you'll tune in again for our next episode of Changing Lives. But until then, thank you again and have a great day.
You want a plan for the future? We can help your dreams come true. A degree that gets you the right job. It's affordable and easy for you. Asnuntuck Community College. Friendly people that know who you are. Asnuntuck Community College. A college so close that can take you so far.